On the weekly chart, we're going to take a look at Rocket Lab in here. A lot of volatility coming in for us, probably the past month and a half or so. You can see this big rip in our green weeklies in here, and then obviously a big pullback in here as well, just in the past 3 weeks. So going forward, it looks like we placed a doji in here or close to it on this weekly candle. So a lot of indecision coming in this past week. We actually had volatility drop back out on us in here. So over the past 30 days, you had a nice little pop overall in our volatility with the price running up. And then as we pulled back, you had another little pop. And then obviously volatility kind of got sucked out of everything in here. If you look at your GEX in here, your King node is still going to be up there at that 120. And it looks like everybody's kind of wrapped around there, especially if you go out to those later day expiration. So that's going to be something that we are going to watch right here. This 120 area is going to be a big wall for us once we get close up to there once again. Our overall call skew in here, though, it's shading a little bit to the call side, but not as much as you would think, especially with our GEX call wall being about 13 points higher than where we're currently trading. But so you got call skew in here, but it's not as much as like SpaceX or things like that, Micron. Basically, your calls are just going to be a little bit more expensive than your puts. That's kind of all that means. So risk is a little bit here to the upside, but we're going to see how that affects things as we are going throughout the end of the month in here. We got about a week and a half left to finish out this quarter. And then we're going to see how things in as we start up a new week after 4th of July with a brand new full week in a new month in here. Your net flow did end bullish in here overall, even though we did get a little bit of pullback in the market and in Rocket Lab here. So going forward, where does all that kind of put us here on this weekly chart? Well, to the upside, obviously, we're focusing on that 120, but in between there in here, 115 is going to be that number that we are going to watch. You can see that's where our lows were back about 4 weeks ago. That's where we closed. Or I'm sorry, that's where we opened just last week, right around that area. So that is going to be our first step in here. If we can get above that with a hold, then we'll focus on that 120. Hopefully we can break down that wall, and then we can work our way higher and then try to get back to this upper trend line of this overall structure. To the downside in here, though, if that 9-day EMA does not hold, we're sitting right on it right now, then obviously we're looking at 105 and then that $99 level in here. Basically, you can chalk it up to 100 psych level. Anything outside of that, we are going to be looking down here right around that $86 level in here. Now, we mentioned our applied volatility kind of got sucked out a little bit. Our IV ranking here was right around that the 30 point level in here. Your IV percentiles around in the 90s. And your expected move being priced in by this Friday is right around $11 in here. So we're going to see how things shake out as we continue throughout this week. And again, we have another shortened week coming up the week after. That week, everybody's pricing in right around $16 of an expected move. You go all the way out to your July monthlies, almost a $20 expected move being priced in here. So a lot of levels that we just mentioned could be on the table in here as soon as this week. So let's see what happens as we continue throughout this week. Remember, we got a little bit of call skew. Our net flow ended overall bullish. We have that call wall up in there at the 120. So keep in mind all of that as we are trying to play Rocket Lab in here. So let's see what happens as we continue out this week and see where we open up this new week, and then where we're going to close as we go into that shortened week, the last week in here in June. All right, guys, if you like this video, make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We also have a Discord service if you are interested, and you can find all of our socials in the description below.